What's up? It's Mr. Calvin of Mr. Calvin's Bouncers, and we're going to show you how we break down my 15-foot tropical water slide. Come with me as we explore how we break it down. As you can see, we have already taken the water out of the pool. You ain't got to worry about that. Next up, we're going to take the stakes that are anchored in the ground up out. Sometimes getting the stakes out of the ground can be really hard. You got your hammer and you just really hammering this thing in the ground, and sometimes you don't know how hard you put it in there. So you have to do a lot of twisting and turning to try to get this thing out. But we got it out. Next, on this one, you can see it's really easy. So we got that out. All right, so we're getting our straps and we're gonna put those on top of the bounce house. That's where we was holding down the bouncer. We have our water hose, trying to get that, and we want everything in the inside. We don't want anything hanging out. So let me take my shoes off because it is real muddy out here. But we got our bounce house, and I'm pulling on the green part. I'm trying not to be pulling on the netting because that can rip. So we're getting this and we're bringing it close to the top. But I forget one thing, we haven't put the sides up. So I want to make sure those sides are in and not hanging out. So I'm stepping on them, trying to bring it a little closer. And that's on the slide side. And now we're going to go to the step side. We're going to make sure that everything is on the inside, because we don't want to pull the top over the inside that are kind of spilling out. So we're pulling this forward, the first part of it, and now we're going to get to the bigger side, because you don't want to just pull in the front part. We want to get the major part. You see how the bouncer is moving towards me. That's what you want to get. So we're going to fold that first part like we did, but that's just the initial pulling over. So we're making sure, what we do with our bouncers, we want to make sure that everything is flat. And that's why we're pulling the sides over, and now we're pulling it pretty much from the top of the bouncer towards the front. You can see the back. We want to see that back area. So we want to make sure that we can see the end of it and that we're stepping on top of the bouncer. We want to get this as flat as possible. And so you can see this day, it is a windy day out here. We're right beside the water. And so as you see, when my shirt is flapping, so it is very windy outside, but it's feeling really good. So on this side, we always want to pull over our step side. So we're pulling that about a quarter over and stepping over. So we're going to pull that to make sure that it's even. We got about a quarter over. I usually, if I'm by myself, I try to get right there in the middle to pull it over, so it's not kind of leaning over. And so we're stepping on it. I'm just trying to line it up, everything. If you do everything the same exact way, then you don't have to change. So there's nothing new. No matter if this is my 15-foot tropical water slide or this is my 20-foot, we're going to practically do those the same way. This doesn't necessarily have a line on it, but you can still kind of tell the way it is when we're folding it. Definitely when we're pulling over that about a quarter over. So we're trying to make sure everything is lined up. I got the pool part. Quick fact, we used to fold over the pool side just to make it like a little bit shorter, but now I want to do everything just uniform. So now I kind of stopped doing on everything. Now I just do it the full length. So we roll the pool part just the way we do the rest of the bouncer. And so what I'm doing right now is stepping out the bouncer. You want to be stepping on it, trying to get it as flat as possible. Now we got that pretty flat. Now we're getting over to the side, which I'm almost middle way. We're going to pull this all the way over. Most of our bouncers, definitely the water slides, we're getting about 25% over, and now we're going to pull it all the way over. As you can see, it looks like that's how it should be. So when you're folding up a bouncer, whether you're at your house or at a business, and it doesn't look right, it's probably not right. As you can see, with that 25% over, now you pulling that other half over, it just looks the way this out. Now that may be maybe 30% over. I'm saying 25, but it may be 30%. But you know roughly what you want to pull this over, because you can feel it when you're walking on top of it. As we're walking, we're trying to get this as flat as possible, trying to get as much of the humps and dips out of it, walking out of it, walking it flat, walking it. We got our straps down underneath my feet, so when it's time to fold up the bouncer, it gets right there. We don't have to pick it up and put the straps down, but we're trying to walk it slow, putting our weight on it, trying to get this as flat as possible so when we get to folding it, there's not a lot of dips and rolls in it. So we're walking it out. That's very important. Once you get it folded over, is to walk it out to get it as flat as possible. So now it's time for the good stuff. So I don't have my knee pads, and I'm kind of pondering, do I want to get on the ground or do I want to stay up? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Trying to get this as small as possible. Let me go and get down. Okay, let's do it. So, I mean, we're going to be wet anyway because I had to pick up another one. But we're trying to get this as small as possible. You're going to twist and turn this thing, and you're moving this over as tight as possible. I'm using my forearms, my hands when we fold this because we don't want to have this too big. We want to have it just right. So we're rolling it. You start tight, start small, like a snowball effect. We want to get this small so when it's time to get big, the big stuff, let it be big. I always tell my drivers, let the big stuff be the big and let the small stuff be the small stuff. So we're trying to get this as tight as possible. Now I'm officially on the tarp, so I'm not as wet. And so we're just taking our time. You don't want to go too fast on any of the bouncers because you want to slowly get this air out. You want to put your forearms. Sometimes you have to put your knees on it. Trying to get this as firm and tight as possible. You don't want a lot of the material hanging out the side. Sometimes you got to get underneath it and roll it up. And so we're just trying to get this as tight as possible. Putting our weight on it when it's time to. You might have to roll, like I said, pull over this left side. Then I might have to get over right there in the middle. We're getting as tight as possible. Okay, so we're just about to the finish line. Couple more pushes, couple more rolls, putting that knee on there, putting those forearms on it. So we're gonna put our blower tube in here so it's not underneath the bouncer when we're rolling it up. We want to make sure we have those in because sometimes you don't see them and they're tucked underneath the bouncer. So we're almost there. We're there. Put that knee in it, putting those forearms on it, getting firm, getting it stay. So we reached the end of our rolling up the bouncer. This 15-foot tropical water slide. So we're putting our straps on there. Like I said on each video, this is very important. You're trying to get this secure, trying to get this tight. So you don't want this bouncer to, just to end up getting slowly untucked because you didn't really roll it tight, one, and you didn't strap it tight. So to make sure that it kind of stays firm, it stays secure. So, like I said, this has been our 15-foot tropical water slide, the breakdown of it on this great windy day. We're in Arkansas, so we know the heat is 95, close to 100 degrees every day, but this is a break for it. And so we've enjoyed you watching us break down our 15-foot tropical water slide. Stay tuned for more videos.